Thank you, Jana. We continue to follow developing news as a former Amherst man attempts to change his not guilty plea related to the death of his 4-month-old son back in 2019. Investigators say the child died from a lethal dose of adult sleep medicine. Western Mass News reporter Kristen Burnell joins us live from Northampton with more. Kristen?
Mary, Isaac Villalobos offered a guilty plea today, but then the judge decided to reject it. Western Mass News was in the courtroom earlier this afternoon when Villalobos changed his plea from not guilty on a series of charges, including manslaughter and assault and battery, to guilty for a single charge of manslaughter.
Are you pleading guilty knowingly and intelligently and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you want...
Authorities say at the time of the death in September 2019, the 35-year-old man lived in Amherst with his infant son, the baby's mother, and her other children. Investigators say the mother was not home when the sleep medication was given to the baby. After a series of questions for the defendant and a recollection of events from the assistant district attorney on what happened that night, the judge decided to reject Villalobos' guilty plea.
I cannot, under these facts, find the necessary elements. Consequently, I'm going to reject the plea.
As for what's next in this case, a status hearing is scheduled for December 28th. Reporting live in Northampton, Kristen Burnell, Western Mass News.